What up, y'all? So I wanted to do this video because I watched the whole thing play out or whatever. You know what I'm saying? The last 2 weeks of Danny Garcia versus Jose Benavidez, I watched all the interviews. And then after the fact, I watched all them interviews too. But as y'all come in, y'all smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. If you ain't subscribed already and you new to the channel, make sure you subscribe though. Now check this out, right? I'm calling fuck shit on this situation right here on Danny Garcia behalf. I just can't let it ride, man, because to me, the nigga, he basically tried to throw rocks, right, and hide his hand. When Errol Spence, catch one of the rocks and try to throw the motherfucker back at the nigga top, try to rock him in his face with the rock, he got to hide his hand like, I ain't throw the rock. So that's what happened. So let me read this shit out and just explain it from where I'm coming from. If you disagree, then just you can put it down in the comments. It don't matter. Just let me know how you feel about the situation. Now listen, right? So Errol Spence came out with this tweet after Danny Garcia said after the press conference, him and his daddy been saying this shit the whole last 2 weeks leading up to their fight, right? So Errol Spence came out, he said, people trying to figure out how the fuck they gonna pay their mortgage or rent every month, etc. Like I said, I don't give a fuck about none of this shit. And I don't care who think what about what. Fuck, I care about a rich nigga being depressed. I'm sure my elder felt worse than me, right? So, Danny Garcia took a little second to get back. That response from Earl was just for the response of all the shit. This just wasn't one thing Danny was saying. Danny was poking at the bird. Some people was like, man, I don't know if I heard Danny say that's why he... No, nigga, he said it, and we're going to get to that. Just stay with me. So Errol Spence said that shit, right? So Danny took him a little minute. He came back with a response. Boom. Let's go to that. Here go Danny response. He tagged Errol Spence, right? He said, Errol Spence, no excuses. I said you won fair and square. You were the better man that night. Anxiety and depression is real and can affect you. It don't have nothing to do with being rich. Respect. So what Danny Garcia tried to do right here was like one of these games I didn't seen before. Like, for instance, right, Charleston White be doing interviews with Say Cheese on Say Cheese TV platform, right? If y'all know anything about this shit, Charleston White, the nigga be talking shit about everybody, the rappers and etc. etc. So one day he was talking shit to the nigga Kevin Gates, right? Talking about how he be doing weird shit and saying different things about what Kevin Gates be saying. Kevin Gates came back, right? He didn't respond to Charleston White like, bitch ass nigga, da, 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 da. He came back and said, I wish you healing, bro, and I fuck with some of the things you said, and try to play this little role like... so Charleston White ain't had no choice but to come back and be like, all right, bro, you know what I'm saying? It's all good, such, and then come back with no smoke or whatever because, he wasn't met back with aggression. And that's basically what Danny, tried to do. It's like a little mind thing, like a little game like niggas be playing. But he started this shit in the first place. I'm going to get to that still. Now, let's go to... Okay, Errol Spence wrote back and said, it was mostly directed at your pops for his comments on why you lost, like I wasn't coming back from something much worse than what the fuck you came from, goofy ass nigga. And you're right, it doesn't. Respect to you though for talking about it and showing that side, something that most of us won't or not ready to do. Now the thing with Danny Garcia depression and all this shit, yeah, depression, anxiety definitely real and all that. Yes, we know this shit, but it ain't the fact bro was talking about that. It was the fact you was trying to overshadow your loss to Earl as if you were so, not focused, and there was, you was throwing salt on the nigga victory from you. That's what y'all niggas was doing, as if it was Danny fault. Oh man, he wasn't that good. This is basically what you saying. You know what I'm saying? You saying, all right, he ain't that good. I was just fucked up. My mind wasn't right. Like, that's bitch ass shit. And then try to turn around and be like, oh, I said you won square. No, the fuck you didn't, nigga. Now let's go to the evidence. Now, some of the interviews leading up to the Danny Garcia fight, right? Let's just one interview. If you can see it right here, I'll click on it. You know? I ain't gonna play the interview, but I just want niggas to know if you somehow don't remember or don't know. So I just showed you. Danny Garcia said he was mentally 15% before Errol Spence fight. That is an excuse, nigga. You saying like I was 15% fighting Earl now, cause now later after your fight you were saying that okay I can beat Errol Spence at 154. That's what you said after the fight. You was like shit, I'm 100% now. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, let me play some of this shit.
I live in St. Louis. Carson lives in California.
We're so distant. And
it's like nigga try to throw rocks and ride.
That conversation.
Like,
oh man, legacy.
Let's see. I should have already found it.
Regardless, so right. All I gotta do is win. So.
Everything that's happened with his life, with your life, the trajectory, the
I'm 85% better. 80.
Look what I'm saying.
Right. Now, in comparison to where you were at mentally for the Spence fight, just talk to your pop about it a little bit. You were saying with everything that was going on.
85% better.
85?
Yeah. Well, 100% overall, but I was 15% then. Now, you know what I'm
so the 80 at 85 to 15, exactly. You got your 100. Exactly. That's where you're at.
Exactly.
That's some fuck shit, bro. That's just one interview. You was saying like, oh, I was 15%. So. You know what I'm saying? It's always an excuse with them. You know what I'm saying? Every time they lose a fight, they always say, oh man, it's because of this, it's because of that. Man, you can't, man, it was your style, man. You came in that motherfucker, he outworked you. He was more fundamentally sound. His jab was more on point. And you was intimidated by that man. Before y'all even got in the ring, it ain't have shit to do with the depression. You was already intimidated from your pops and forced you in that bitch. You know what I'm saying? He even forced you in that bitch by telling you all these years leading up to the fight. He ain't no killer. He ain't this, he ain't that. Oh, and then when it started coming close to the fight, oh man, I see something. I see a few things. You know, I see you wanted to be Mikey 2.0. I seen something. Then next thing you know, he got in that motherfucker and beat your ass, and now you was 15% and shit. Man, get the fuck out of here, nigga. Ain't nobody feeling sorry for that shit. Like, you know, so Errol Spence had no choice but to respond in that way, or it would have seemed like as if he was shitting on people who go through mental health and things like that. So, and that's what type of card that Danny had played for that moment. So he knew to write that back like that to, you know what I'm saying, to kill, because he wasn't finna just, you know, go back and forth with Earl on Twitter, because he already beat your ass. There ain't too much you can say. So your best card you can pull, your best chess move was to pull that. So he had no choice but to say what he said, so he wouldn't make it seem like he's trying to shit on people who go through mental depression. Nigga, we is not stupid, nigga. We not stupid over here, bro. We know what the fuck you doing. That's one interview. Let's go through some more of these, bitch. You know what I'm saying? Go through some more. We got an interview right here. Spence is a middleweight. You know what I'm saying? I remember this interview. Yeah, Spence is a middleweight. You know what I'm saying? We just that's how you absorb a lot of them punches. Remember that? Here we go, right here. Danny Garcia calls for Errol Spence rematch. knows he can beat him and cites why he lost. Keep saying why you lost. You got your ass beat. You never said, oh, man, he was just a better man. That never came out your mouth, bro, the whole time, bro. Y'all niggas built the little bit of the promotion for you and Bitty V that was Errol Spence and why you lost to him because you were 15%. The fuck are you talking about? So like I said, it's like he tried to throw rocks and then hide his hand when Errol Spencer finally addressed. Y'all kept poking them, saying why y'all lost, thinking he wasn't gonna say nothing. Like, no, nigga.
So let's say you see the face off.
Intentionally or unintentionally, which I believe is intentionally, nigga, you throwing salt on his win. As if, you know what I'm saying, it was you the reason you lost. No, nigga. In his case, it was him. He put in the work. He was going through much worse than you, so there ain't no point in mentioning that shit. We're going to talk about the depression and all that shit to say that. But the fact that you linking it with that fight, as it, that's what you doing, to throw salt on his shit. You know what I'm saying? Then turn around and be like, oh, it can happen to you, man. Shut the fuck up, man.
Same height.
So talk a bit about it, because you said that you really had to squeeze down to get to 140, 147.
Yeah.
Did the
Spence.
Right.
During the pandemic, so...
What you keep saying?
Red Cash.
Yeah, no, I fought Red Cash and Spence.
Right.
During the pandemic, so... definitely after the fight, I knew I was going to let my body grow and go up to 154. But definitely, I still squeezed myself down in between that year. That's why I took a break. That year took a lot out of me, like, physically. Like, especially with the pandemic, it was a crazy world.
Your dad said mentally, too.
Yeah.
See, you keep talking about it. Oh man. It's a crazy year. The pandemic. I was 15%. I was going through depression. I was going through anxiety. The whole world was going through this shit. So why mention that shit along with that shit? If you want to talk about your shit, just talk about your shit on the side. Oh, man, for that fight. You keep mentioning for that fight. And then your daddy doing the same shit. So y'all niggas know what the fuck y'all doing, bro. Then turn around. These niggas be fucking me up with this fuck shit, bro.
So it's just like, you gotta rest. Like, I just knew I needed to rest.
And lastly, I like the way you've been handling it. You were pretty much quiet there, letting your dad do the talking.
Yeah.
So talk a bit about that.
Oh, yeah, that's what we do. I can't tell him how to be. Yes, that's who he is.
So is it the Angel Garcia show or the Danny Garcia show?
No, it's both. Danny Garcia is Angel Garcia.
It is what it is, though. I just want to state that and talk about how Danny Garcia tried to, he tried to do that shit, like, as if, like, you know what I'm saying, when it came down to it, Errol Spence finally addressed it, because you was doing it the whole last 2 weeks, plus your post-press conference, and, you know what I'm saying, so you was doing it the whole time, right? Then you turned around and tried, oh, man, anybody can go through mental depression. I said you won first. When did you say that, bro? You never said that. I'm watching every interview. You ain't never said that one squaring first. What? But it is what it is, man. Y'all hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe already. I'm out, y'all. Deuces.